of going over the water, as you can see, you can look around and there is not one same method. The overall arching theme is filter your water. But there's more than one way to make that happen. And the best way is the way that works for how you want to hike and what you want to do. I'm just going to go around, and like I said, there's no wrong way or right way. And I did want to say, along with maybe finding a place to hang your bear line when you first come to camp, before I even do that, I'm just trained because you're so tired, and the last thing I want to deal with is water. I immediately get my water. And I get enough water so I don't have to go back. So typically on a backpack, I didn't this time, but on a traditional, overnight, I'm going out for however long, I will carry the capacity of 4 liters. But I don't always have 4 liters. It's just if I need it, I have that capacity. If it's a 7-day trip, maybe 3 liters. Because once I set up my tent and I make dinner, I want to have all my water for that night. I want to have my water ready to roll the next morning when it's mandatory coffee time. I'm a coffee drinker. And then if I can, I try to avoid going back and getting water so I'm ready to hike. So that's kind of how I feel about my water. Now I've camped with people and hiked with people. They're running back and forth to water. That doesn't seem efficient to me. So I just, early on, I don't even know how, I just got myself in a habit. Get your water, set up your camp, look for your bear line. And then I usually don't eat until I'm settled and I feel good about everything. And then I eat, sit back, relax, get that belly full, and go to sleep. So we'll just go around. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way for the water. We'll start with the tank over here hanging from the tree. So I personally would probably not carry something like that. It's over capacity, but I will say, if you're hiking with a group, if you're hiking with friends, last year on the John Muir Trail, the whole 3 days we spent on the John Muir Trail, Mighty Blue had a similar bucket, and we were able to fill that thing up, and 4 of us access our water all night from that style of system. So it's out there, it's accessible, that thing is ready to turn on, and you can filter your water like right now. You can leave it hanging out overnight, it's no big deal. And it really works well. I've seen families camping with children, families camping, or groups of women that hike in packs, because that's what women do when they're out on the trail. I've seen systems like this for groups. I learned very on, no matter what I'm doing, who I hike with, I hike self-sufficiently. I always carry what I need, and I don't rely on anybody because I've gotten burned several times. So I always hike so I can maintain myself, and that starts with the water. So you have that system. Austin, I lost your system. Austin uses, if you're a YouTube individual, a lot of thru hikers use the CNOC bag, and then they will use a Sawyer filter because it fits on these rather nicely. And this is a 2-liter bag, and Austin does all of his filtering. Fill this, scoop it up, this handle comes off, it opens, the mouth of it opens really wide. You can scoop it up, you filter with your Sawyer Squeeze, and off you go. And Austin just said, I have never used one of these, but this is very good if you have to do a water carry. Maybe you're gonna dry camp. Does everybody know what dry camp is? It means you're gonna stop at Dismal Falls, get water, and you might hike on 2 miles. So you need to carry what you need for that night and the next morning, and to wherever, maybe you need an additional liter to wherever you're going that next day for your first water stop. So this is really, really popular. I've seen a lot of these. It's CNOC, and where is this individual company? Yeah. Amazon?
So they don't do Amazon sales anymore just because they're a smaller company, and they prefer to sell themselves. So they made a decision a while back to intentionally not sell on Amazon so that they could sell to local outfitters.
And I see here Austin has 3-liter capacity. So 3 to 4 liters, I would say, is rule of thumb. And Clay can certainly speak more rule of thumb. PCT, CDT, West Coast trails, where you might have 20-mile carries and things like that. This is actually Mighty Blue's setup. So this is a regular Sawyer Squeeze. I personally, and I don't know why, I've never used a Sawyer. So I used to use a, I can't even think of the name of it. You put it in there and you stir it around. It had a beam of light. Oh, yeah. What am I? Steri-Pen. So I went straight from the Steri-Pen to the BeFree. So I somehow skipped the Sawyer generation of water filters. But I heard Mighty Blue say something about this. This is the regular size Sawyer. And I have heard people say the best flow comes out of the regular size Sawyer. And I think they have 2 other sizes. They have the mini, and then they have like one that's the micro. So they have 3 different sizes, but this one seems to be the one.
I haven't used that one for a long time, so
should we test the flow? So basically, this is the way that it works. You have your bottle that has what we call the clean water, and most of the time, now you can get smart water bottles, you can get other style of water bottles from the gas station. You fill it up, you squeeze it in there, you fill this back up, and you can drink directly from the Sawyer if you want to. I think the main reason I never got a Sawyer is because I felt like this would annoy the heck out of me, stick it out of my pack like that. That's just me. So, but
I can tell you what I used to. I used the same smart water bottle for something like 1,400 miles. Mm-hmm. Never needed to change it at all. So it was amazingly resilient bottle to use. And another thing I was taught very late in my first hike, but I definitely used it in my second hike, was when I got to a river, or somewhere, a water source, I would stop, take my pack off, fill up and drink a litre of water if I could. So I'm carrying an extra litre inside me. Yeah. So I don't like to carry more than 1 litre of water, if I possibly can. And the 18 was normally enough for me. But sometimes I will then carry the clean water. I then have the other bottle already filled up, so I've then got two on me, So.
But the CNOC will fit with that Sawyer Squeeze?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
They also
CNOC also has their own filter. Also, CNOC also has an entire setup that comes with the bag plus the filter and everything else.
That bag's just so much better than the Sawyer.
The one somebody has one.
I have the mini.
So here's the other thing I will say, and I've learned this lesson the hard way about water. I freak out about water. Like, if I don't have water, I'm like, where's the water? Where's the water? Never pass up water. No. And I've looked at my water bottles, and I'm like, I have a half a liter. I could do 4 miles. Never, ever pass up water. And I've been hiking with people, and they're like, I'm not getting water. You're crazy. I'm like, I just fill up. And that leads to, for me, this system works for me because I can have a smart water bottle, gas station water bottle, and this thing is gold because this is a liter. So if you go down to Dismal Falls, you stick it in there, you drink your liter, you stick it back in there, and you've never had to mess with, your other water bottle unless you have to fill it up. So this thing, it balls up, it's very light. They do have, you have a 3 liter. I don't know. They might have.
It's very similar to that.
Okay, they might have a 2 liter.
I think it's 1, 3, maybe 10 and 5 or something.
Okay.
I don't know if they have. I know they have a 10 liter one.
But I just find this is gold for me and how I like to hike, because if I see water, it's real easy. Take it out, stick it in, drink, stick it in again, carry however much I want. The negative side of this, the flow is amazing until it's not. Typically, because I'm a section hiker, day hiker, whatever I'm able to do, I can get this to last about 6 months for me. And then I have to buy a new filter. Well, you can, but you know what? They just do not. I would just rather buy a filter, because I'm not going to sit there for 30 minutes with little trickles coming out. And I'm spoiled because, I section hike or, go out for an overnight or something like that, which is not that convenient for a thru hiker. You might have to go a week before you could get to an outfitter, before you can get to a hostel. And I think that is why some of the thru hikers go with the Sawyer, because of the longevity of the Sawyer.
If you don't prime that, if you're not using it for a few weeks, between your section hikes.
Yeah, you get it wet, you prime it up. Yeah, but it's still like, This Paul uses internal filter. Got a little straw to it. Scoop it up, drink it. Off you go. These are great actually. This is Rapid Pure. Yeah, Rapid Pure.
Yep. That's what all of my filters are. That one up there is Rapid Pure. That there's Rapid Pure. She'll show you the other one right there that she has there. That's like a little straw. So that's, you know, like if you're ultralight.
This is for the hardcore.
Right. You just go to your water source and stick it in and use that as a straw. Okay. But then I also have, I don't know if it's on my pack here or if it's in the pack at the house, but I got the inline for the water bladder as well. And what I like about the Rapid Pures is, one, you don't have to worry about them freezing like you do some of the others.
That's all you do, yeah.
The Sawyers and stuff like that, you
and this
worry
you gotta
about
worry about, yeah, you got to worry about all these freezing.
The Rapid Pures remove 99.99999% of your like protozoa and stuff like that, like the Sawyers do, but it also removes your hard metals. It removes virus and what else? There's one other thing that it removes also that the others don't, but it removing virus was a big selling point to me because of like the norovirus and stuff like that.
Then I'll move over to Clay, and Clay, if you don't mind talking about what you do.
Yeah.
Because you're unique in your method. To me, this was what everybody was doing 6, 8, 10 years ago. You don't see it as much, but it's a tried and true method.
Yeah. So I'm going to start in the middle because this takes a few minutes. So I use Aquamira drops. There are 2 different chemicals that have to be combined. When they're separate, they're stable. But when you combine them, they become volatile, and then they create basically the chemicals that your water gets treated with at the water plant. So some people are like, I don't want chemicals. Okay, then don't drink water out of the tap. That's fine. It's the same thing. Now, the recommendation is 7 drops per liter of each one, and I don't usually do the full 7 because I guess I'm a cheapskate. But I like to try to make it last a little bit longer. So I'll do. Look, if I'm pulling out of a stock tank in New Mexico that's filthy, I will do 7 drops. But otherwise, I'm going to do 4 or 5, something like that. I'm going to go ahead and do 7. I pulled this out of the creek down there, and we'll treat it in a minute. But I'm going to. So you just count it out. I always put the top back on so I'm not, confusing.
How many drops do you get in? How long do they last for you?
I can't count and talk at the same time. These go, like a month, and I don't treat all the time. I know that is a smart thing to do. I did get Giardia when I was on the CDT in Colorado this summer. So that's the risk. I do like to think I'm smart about that, but I wasn't, obviously. But if it's a spring high up on a mountain, even if it's a creek pretty high on a mountain where, the chance that wildlife is contaminating or livestock is less, but certainly a spring, and on the AT I did drink out of some excellent springs, and elsewhere I've done it. So this is going to take, you're supposed to wait 5 minutes. You will note that I'm a shortcutter. I don't usually have to wait 5 minutes. You'll see why. I'm going to show this to you. These 2 chemicals in small amounts start reacting very quickly, and it's real obvious when it's done, and it doesn't usually take 5 minutes. So, that's what I do. I sometimes carry this as a backup. This is a Sawyer Micro.
Oh.
It's a small one, and normally I would have a Smart Water bottle, that tall bottle, so that this would fit on there. I just brought it to show you. I again, lazy. Lazy is the theme for me, and lazy and shortcutting, but you can use these bottles. Sometimes there's a little bit of an advantage to having one of these because it's got a little bit of a wider mouth. But I have something that I can scoop with, whatever it is. Sometimes I'll cut off the bottom of like a hand, a little water bottle that's like a 12-ounce thing. Just cut off the bottom so you have this little flimsy scoop, something to scoop with. Because sometimes in these trails out west, I was scooping, I don't know, a half an ounce at a time. Probably not even a half an ounce at a time. You're just very You just got to be really, really patient. Sometimes on the AT, you know,
AT
people
as well,
you stick a leaf in there and you're just waiting for drops. So you should have something to scoop with on any trail.
I've done that a few times when water's just trickling over the edge. Literally put a leaf in place and watch it start accumulating, and then just start waiting.
That is why the good Lord made rhododendron leaves, as far as I can tell. So, and rhododendrons you will see for a long, long time on this trail. So we're waiting for this to do, and so talking about, AT, we've got lots of AT experience here. Water's not really a problem, but I have to tell you, it can be a problem. In the year I hiked, it was great, it was no problem. But I didn't get hit by a lot of rain, which was awesome. But when I got to New York, there was kind of a drought. And I did run into a problem one day. Thank God there was some trail magic, which apparently the ATC would have actively busted up like a union buster. Oh, they're trying to discourage magic. But anyway, there was a guy there, and he taught me my favorite flavor of Gatorade just because he had it. Oh, I don't have it. Yeah, Icy Charge. I don't know what the flavor is. It's like some weird berry thing. It's purple, but that's my favorite because when I got there, I was very thirsty, and he handed me that. So it is a thing. But on these Western trails, I carried 5.5 liter capacity on the PCT, and I carried 5 liter capacity this summer on the CDT. Wow. I screwed up once on the CDT, never on the PCT, where I should have taken on more water one day on the CDT. I'm of the opinion, and all of anything that any of us have to say this weekend is an opinion. I really think anybody who's going to do this sort of stuff, particularly on those dry Western trails, should be prepared to walk 15 miles in the sun with no water. Because you just don't know what's going to happen. Now, you can try. These bags are great. I've got a 3 liter bag that's made out of the same material. It's not a bladder, it's just a bag. That's my extra capacity.
So how do you stay dehydrated or hydrated for 15 miles? How do you prepare yourself?
I believe, my opinion, that it's good that we're all trained to be super, super hydrated, but your body can handle it usually. It depends. I say 15 miles, it's more a matter of time and out in the sun. Yeah, you're going to get dry, but I just think as an emergency thing, like, especially on those Western trails, you're going to have long, long water carries. It's the same material as this. That's my 3 liter backup. It's great. I love it. Hardly anybody carries the thing like that. They mostly carry just 5 smart water bottles. Here's why. Those are very hard to puncture, and those you'd be surprised. And if you're out in the desert, there's a lot of spiky things, and it just takes one little hole for that thing to just not work anymore, or to leak in your pack or whatever. I never put a full water bottle inside my pack ever, no matter what. It's always riding on the outside of the pack. That's just me.
Totally.
So that's what I carry.
And you won't have any problem in the AT at all?
No, on the AT, water, in a particularly dry year, like 2016 was a reasonably dry year, which was great because I wasn't getting poured on all the time, only 20% of the time. You can run into it. It was like they were saying it was kind of drought conditions in New York that year, but that was the only thing. I did carry 5.5 liters on the PCT several times, and that's just because you can't count on that. Even with gut hook and notes and stuff, that's not always accurate. So I had some long water carries, and on the CDT, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But what happened was there's some just crap water sources that you're going to take out of. And the thing is, this is another reason I really like Aquamira, is I'm just super confident it kills virus too. Won't take out the heavy metals. But if you come to a green cow pond, and that's what I did sometimes, and it actually smells like cow poop, you can take water out of there. I feel confident treating. It tastes a little like cow poop, but I don't think I'm going to get sick, and I did not get sick, okay? So, I'm going to walk around and just show you. I'm going to show everybody real quick what this looks like. You will see it's like a witch's brew. You're gonna get the puff of smoke probably.
Okay.
See it?
Yeah.
See what that looks like?
Bright green.
And he got to. Can you smell that?
Bright green.
And chlorine. It turns bright green.
Oh yeah,
Basically,
like we're at a pool.
super. And he got the fun one because he gets the puff of gas out of there. And you can You don't want to smell that, buddy. But so there it is. That's the thing. And then, you know, it's ready, like I say, in a small amount. It's really ready in a couple minutes. But here's what I like to do just to make sure I'm getting all the use of it. I pour a little bit of my water in there so that I'm catching all the drops. I just pour it in there. You need something like this that comes with it. I carry an extra because that would be a pain to figure out. I just shake it up. You are supposed to wait, I think it is a half an hour. Guess how long I usually wait?
5 minutes.
5, 10, whatever, and it's fine. I don't find there's a taste problem. Despite the smell, some of you might have caught a whiff of that. It doesn't taste bad to me. I really don't taste heavy chemicals or anything any worse than what's coming out of the tap. I really like this system. I like to do things on the go. And so literally, I've got these guys where I can reach them in a hip pocket, and I'm going along, and I know there's a water source coming up. I am walking and preparing those drops. So they're ready to go, and by the time I get there, you know, it's smart to do the drink a whole liter thing there, but I'm usually not there long enough to do that. I mean, it's a good idea. But I get there, I get my water, I dump it in, I stick it. I've already hopefully got another liter or whatever going. Normally I wouldn't carry these kinds of bottles. It would be like that, and off I go. And then I can drink that in, you know, 5, 10, 15 minutes, but usually I don't have to. I really like this system. It's interesting to me talking to people. A lot of people I get that line of, "Ooh, you're putting chemicals in your body." I'm like, yeah, it's the same chemicals pretty much that you're getting in your tap water. I don't worry about that. It doesn't seem to bother my stomach long term or anything.
That's what everybody used to do. I mean,
yeah.
I'm used to well water though, so I mean the taste of like city water. I don't drink city water.
Yeah.
Myself.
I don't taste anything. I don't taste any chemicals. Taste here.
That's another thing. You know, a minute ago you said that about the water that you had out there. You know, cow poop water. And that's one reason why I like the Rapid Pure the way that I do, because I mean, being from Florida, we got swamp water, and it literally tastes like
a swamp.
Alligator.
Yep.
You know,
you don't like alligator soup?
With those bottles right there, it takes away the flavor as well.
Yeah. And I could see having something like that.
This right here, I'll send this around. This was one of the water sources that I used. Wow. So see how bad the water is.
I should go get my photos and show you one of the cow poop.
So that's the water source that I got the water from. Okay.
All right, we're gonna do a you know what measuring here. I'm gonna go get my phone.
This is before and after.
I gotta show you guys this pond.
This is before and after with that gravity filter there.
The other thing you could do too when you're using these methods, and we should probably talk about this as well, is you should have electrolytes at all times.
Yes.
Whatever brand you like, it doesn't matter. If you like Gatorade, if you like Propel, if you like Noon, there's so many out there.
Well, some sort of wafer. I can't remember what they were called. They were like little wafers.
Yeah,
that you could put in your water.
It's like Noon is like a little circle thing, but
that may be what I'm thinking.
There's so much out there. Drip Drop. There's another one, IV. I think is another one that's out there. But that's the other thing I'm probably a little bit of a freak about is when that food bag goes in, it's always some kind of electrolyte. It's just whatever you like. I mean, Crystal Light makes electrolytes. It's just, you know, if you want to hide that flavor, specifically out west, I mean, every drink I had electrolytes in it. I mean, because you're losing so much salt. Even on the AT, you know, coming up here, you're hiking in, that's the green tunnel. That's what you're going to be in, you know, whatever percentage of the time, you're still losing all that sweat. You're losing your electrolytes, and I don't think I usually see anybody without electrolytes now, unless they've run out or something like that. So, any questions about? I know Clay or Pony is going to get his pictures about water filtration. Awesome.
I think it's one of the subjects that I never realised how important water was to you until I started hiking. And then that was, I said in a lot of presentations, whenever you can, take the opportunity to drink water. And that's the thing, a lot of people don't. And
that's what I would do. I mean, anytime I came to a water source, I sit there and cameled up.
Yep.
You know, I would chug until I got full, and then I would fill up, and I would hike to the next one. If I got to another water source, even if I wasn't real thirsty, I would still, you know, drink.
Yeah.
and
You
then
need more
fill
than you
up.
think. You always need more than you
Yes.
think you do. Always.
Now, I mean, and a lot of people disagree with me on this, but you know, like Clay was saying earlier, it's opinion. Whenever I was hiking the trail, if I got to a water source that was a little crack in a rock coming out of the mountain, I didn't filter.
I
that's,
wouldn't either.
That's just me. I know that. I mean, most of the time, if you're going to
At
catch
the top, there
giardia
could be
or something
an
like
animal
that,
pooping in that, whatever. But
you know, I mean, if I felt that it was getting filtered coming through the rock and everything else, I didn't filter, and I didn't have an issue, you know, the whole trip. But
I think that's the thing that happens the more north you go, actually.
Yes, well, I mean,
because
New Jersey,
you get slightly more lax, but
Well-
also you see more of those things where it is literally coming out the
Yes.
side of a rock.
right
Yeah,
now
you
in
can
New
take it.
Jersey, I filtered.
yeah,
You know, but you had all the beaver ponds and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever I saw a stream of water and there was foam in it, yeah, I'm gonna filter. You know, because water ain't supposed to foam.
Yeah, not by itself.
all right.
So-
What's next? Cooking,
Cooking.
cooking, and eating.